Olá, meus amores! Antes de tudo, gratidão por você estar presente para mais um conteúdo. Eu estou passando aqui rapidinho para lembrar de curtir agora esse vídeo, se inscrever no canal, ativar o sininho para não perder nenhum vídeo incrível que trazemos aqui para você. Combinado? Agora, apertem os cintos, entre na nave estelar e bora pra aventura!
Hi to everyone. Lately, very lately, all the bringers of truth and disclosure are being severely attacked in a quite pathetic way via bots on their social medias or deplorable witch hunts, which are in a way laughable because the more the witch hunt focus on the people to hunt, the more this point at, the deep state points at who says the truth. Because censorship works as this. They will focus on those telling the truth, and they will relentlessly work at discrediting their name and attacking them. They will never focus on those who do not bring the truth. They're insignificant to them. But those who bring the truth are the greatest threat to plans that have been created 400,000 years ago. Shall we begin? Because if I'm on target, my answer is I am going to go more on target. Are you ready? Because I am. When custodian Anunnaki arrived on Earth, they were not yet custodians. They were interested not only by mining the resources of Earth, but by expanding the rulership of their High King Anu upon the whole galaxy Nataru. Earth was convoited to be taken by Anu as another asset of his empire. And he sent his son, Enlil, which is a title. His real name was Yuh, means the fiery one. Yuh was half reptilian because his mother was reptilian species. Anu had great plans for his empire. He wants to take Yuh away on conquest missions to make him occupied because his instability was a threat to his own empire. And Anu had plans to put Ea as his firstborn, as heir of the empire. But it didn't happen like this. Because Ea was sent on a mission with Yuh by the request of his mother, who wanted to temper Yuh. Bad temper. But there were other reasons. They need a good scientist, a good geneticist to come with them. Ea was a geneticist. Ea is an alchemist. He works on the frequency of love, of creation. He is half human, half Anunnaki. His mother was human. And he has empathy, which Yuh, by his reptilian nature, hasn't. So Ea was part of the expedition. When they arrive on Earth, You know the story from the Sumerian text. Always go back to the artifacts. Anyone that comes lately and says this is true, this isn't true, ignore. That's manipulation, that's BS. The real artifacts, the real texts, the past that was written, carved, and that is still today accessible. This is real. Physical artifacts, okay? Anyone that hasn't studied artifacts, that has no degrees, that hasn't studied, and that comes after and says, oh, the artifacts are BS. How dare you? What's your plan? What's your agenda? Why are you focusing on this? Leading a crusade. I continue. The Adamic bloodline was engineered by Ea. He put his own DNA into the making of this activated Adapa, the first Homo sapiens sapiens, Adam. You, Aka and Lil, had plans of power and conquest and total rulership on Earth, and the humans were just bothering him because humans were meant to be slaves to his plans of ownership of the planet, and he was very harsh with them. There are many recollections in the records of Enlil. Enlil, it's written, ordering that the humans are too compelled to unite and to bond together, and that's not good. Unity was a threat, because if humans united, Enlil had no control anymore over them. So the best thing was to keep them arguing with each other. And that's when comes the myth of the Tower of Babel. Humans were all speaking the same language. They were united. A god came and said, that cannot be. Let them not build this tower. Means this structured society based on unity. Enlil destroyed the tower. Means he destroyed their unity by making them speaking different languages. Meaning separating them in groups that would argue with each other. They wouldn't speak the same language. Humans often bonded together and rebelled, and that unity just had become a problem. The divide and conquer a force of Enlil consists and still has consisted through to this day into suppressing the access to a spiritual knowledge and truth about the reality of human nature, creating conditions to make survival on Earth an all-consuming chore from birth to death. That human would focus on survival and striving and suffering to make a living and not focus on their spiritual evolution. And make groups, create communities that would argue against each other. And when a community would be too threatening by its unity and power, they would insert in them elements that would take it apart from inside. That's Enlil always proceeded by like this, and that's a very reptilian thing to do. They do that to conquer worlds. They spread agents that are going to split communities in scattered part, arguing with each other. That's what they do. We need to be more clever and stop playing Enlil's games. Stop listening to his agents, creating conflict, division. In the Eden Biolab, on board the Nibiru ship, there were Enki, Princia, engineered, upgraded humans. That was asked by Enlil, who was the commander of the expedition, to enhance the creatures living there on Earth to become slaves, efficient slaves. As you know, I reveal in my book The Seeders, who brought on me a witch hunt, and I recommend to read. When Enki, Princia, when Enki got in front of him the first humans to modify and to study, he realized with awe that these were already the result of an experiment from the Seeders. So he decided to not bind them as slaves. That was a crime regarding to science and the greater laws of the universe. Oh, wow, he activated them, all their potential. But it kept this secret. Enki had his own experiment for himself. He hid it from Enlil. He had many tries and finally came up with the right activated human. And from him, he engineered a female that he could breed. And this bloodline is the bloodline of fully activated men, humans on Earth, with a true potential. This is the bloodline of the patriarchs that led to Jesus, Isa, and to his descendants. In the Garden of Eden, it is said that by the Vatican manipulative version of the Bible, that Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, very innocent and unaware, and there was a tree of life, and a serpent enticed Eve to eat the apple of knowledge, and then they realized they were naked, and they were cast out by God from the Garden of Eden because they had access to knowledge and God didn't want to. Who is this God who doesn't want humans to access to their spiritual potential? Who is this God who didn't want humans to unite to become a better society? Who is this God who inflicted plagues, droughts, floods to make humans suffer, that they remain inferior beings to what their potential can take them to be? Who is this horrible entity thinking he has the right to do this? Well, that was Enlil, playing God. And why there's a witch hunt on me? Because I am bringing this knowledge that the God the Vatican has led you to worship is an Anunnaki. His name is Enlil. His son, Ninota, also played Yahweh. Marduk also took the role sometimes. Bloodsheds, wars, division. sacrifices of blood asked, wars in the name of this God, repression, inquisition, assimilation. Is that a God of love, of compassion, of tolerance? No, it isn't. It is an extraterrestrial playing a manipulative God in order to maintain humans in spiritual unawareness, division, divide and conquer, the Roman Empire, and striving for life. In the Garden of Eden, Eden is a biodome on board the ship. There were not one tree, there were 2 trees, and these ones were not real trees. They were metaphors. There was a tree of knowledge of good and evil, and there was a tree of life. First, Eve feeds off the tree of knowledge of good and evil, means they learn about ethics and justice and integrity. And only once you have assimilated these notions, you can eat from the tree of life, which is the tree of immortality, of spiritual awareness, that suddenly you realize that you are an immortal being in a temporary vessel, and then you are free. The tree of life is the tree of freedom. The serpent has been demonized by the Vatican, by Rome. The serpent represents Ea. Why it represents Ea? Because he is an alchemist and a geneticist, and the serpent represents the Kundalini, the human awakening, the energy, the thrill, the consciousness, the waters of creation, the waters of the womb. The serpent is the symbol of the geneticists. And it has stayed true to this day to the symbol of the caduceum of Hermes for the medical corporations on Earth. The 2 coils of the Kundalini opening to the pineal gland, and the wings are the spiritual opening of the soul. Now, when Enlil learned about this, he wanted to destroy Adam and his consort. Ea managed to save them by making them escape from the ship, the Nibiru ship, onto Earth, and he took care of these descendants afterwards. So to those who are watching this and want to attack me, come, the more you do it, the more I'm going to tell truths. Can't win. I am asking now the humans who are listening to this to realize, if you may, that you are being played if you play the games of division. Stop feeding into it. In the Genesis, it's written that Enlil said, when he discovered that Adam and Eve had been fully activated, he told Adam From dust you came, and to dust you will return. That's the plan for humanity that he had. He never wanted humanity to rise from the dust and become the glorious beings that you are. All of you. All of you. Even those who have chosen the path of destruction and division. You still are human of earth. Raise above the dust. Become who you are. Stop feeding into division. There is no way backwards, because what you know, you cannot unknow it. Awaken the serpentine energy within you, opening the vortex that is here, the pineal gland. Once you open the pineal gland, you activate a door. And through this door, you access to universal knowledge. Not only of who you are, but anything you think of, you put out the request in the universe, you get the answer. This is who you are. This is what you can do. Meditation. Find your own techniques to meditate, to awaken your Kundalini. First, you need to cut the noise. The manipulation. Noise is illusion, it's manipulation, it's interference. Find your own frequency in the silence and the void, and become who you are. This is what Rome never wanted you to do. They wanted you to believe you are born with sin and you are shit and you need to suffer and you need to bend on your knees and worship gods and fear God. Are you realizing that this is not a religion of love, of empowerment? It's a religion that takes you down like shit and put intermediaries between you and divinity, priests. Organized religion, church, priests. Priests are also manipulate people because they're also humans and they are manipulated into this institution. They are made believe that they are the intermediary between the people and God. Oh my goodness. Do you realize that? You've been played. There's no need for priests. You have access direct to source, to the real God, which is source. The universal consciousness, which frequency is love. Absolutely. And you are a fractal of it. You are made at the image of God. This is true when it speaks about the real God, which is source, the universal consciousness, which puts a fractal of itself in every living thing in the multiverse. Anything that has a consciousness is a fractal from source. You are the image of source, not the body, but the soul. The soul is a fractal of God. And you have it within you. And when you tune in within to who you are, you listen to your own frequency. It's the frequency of source. You're connected. You don't need priests. You don't need churches. Just you. You are the temple. You are the priest. You are the intermediary between yourself, this body, and God. You are powerful. Stop kneeling in front of anything. Certainly not in front of a made-up God, which is an extraterrestrial playing God. So you want to attack me for this? I won't shut up. It's in your hands, humanity. I have faith in you. I have faith in you because I know who you are. And you are magnificent. And you are almighty powerful. And you are a high form of intelligence. Activate. That's your job. That's how we win.